Imagine a world where evolution took a different path, where instead of arms, humans were born with great living wings. Feathers replaced fingers, and instead of handshakes, people greeted one another with a soft rustle of plumage. Humanity's history, architecture, and even emotions would all have evolved under the rule of the sky. Cities would rise not from the ground, but from the cliffs, plateaus, and vast suspended platforms. Streets would twist upward in spirals, and doors would open from rooftops rather than walls. Stairs would be rare. Instead, wide ledges and soft air currents would form the true roads between homes. Children would learn to fly before they learned to walk, their first flights watched carefully by parents balancing between pride and fear. The first civilizations would have been built near constant updrafts, mountain ranges, volcano ridges, and oceanic cliffs. Fire, once dangerous to a winged species, would be tamed differently, kept low and surrounded by stone circles to protect feathers from catching flame. Tools and weapons would evolve without the grasp of fingers. Instead, wing hooks or dexterous claw-like joints near the wrists would be used to hold and craft. Writing might appear as aerial patterns, sky trails of colored smoke or symbols etched in sand for those below. Religion would look upward, literally. Myths would tell of the first flight, a divine being who broke from the earth's pull and never fell again. Death might be imagined not as a descent into the ground, but as a final, endless ascent, one last glide into the sun's light. Burial grounds would hang along cliffs, where the wind could carry feathers into eternity. Warfare, too, would be redefined. Battles fought in the air would rely on precision and coordination, rather than brute strength. Armies would rise like dark clouds, their shadows sweeping across the land. The greatest danger would not be weapons, but gravity. A single broken wing meaning death. Ground-based creatures would live in awe and fear of the skyborn. But the sky would not belong to all equally. In this world, those with stronger wings would dominate. Class and hierarchy would be measured by altitude, how high one could live or fly. The poorest might inhabit deep valleys, while the elites built shining cities in the clouds, unreachable by those below. Falling would mean more than failure. It would symbolize disgrace, exile, and shame. Technology would eventually challenge biology. As wings aged and weakened, science would invent mechanical replacements, metal feathers, gliders, and boosters. Air traffic would become crowded. Collisions would be as common as car crashes once were. New laws would emerge to regulate air lanes and no-fly zones. Yet, despite all progress, the emotional essence of flying would remain sacred. Lovers would soar together at dusk, tracing circles of light in the fading sky. Artists would dance mid-air, painting patterns with trails of powder and flame. And children, standing on the edge of the wind, would still feel the same tremor of fear and wonder before leaping into open space. The eternal moment when instinct takes over and the world below becomes small. In this world, humanity would never forget its roots on the ground, but the sky would be our true home. To fly would not just be motion. It would be identity, freedom, and faith. Because with wings instead of arms, we would no longer reach out to grasp the world. We would rise to meet it.